But he was talking about people who are not vaccinated. He said they don't believe in science. They're often misogynistic, often racist. No, they're not.
That was not smart of him at all.
Right. He said, but they take up space. And with that, we have to make a choice in terms of a leader as a country. Do we tolerate these people? It's like, tolerate them. Now you do sound like Hitler.
That was...
And recently he talked about them holding unacceptable views.
The Western Hemisphere welcomes its newest dictator, a guy even liberal comic Bill Maher thinks is a bit of a Nazi. This comes as Justin Trudeau invoked emergency powers to end the free speech of Canadians opposing his oppressive China virus mandates. Joining me now for more on this, senior policy analyst for the Independent Women's Forum and Newsmax columnist, Patrice Lee Onwuka. Great to have you here, lady. Patrice, check out this revealing comment from Trudeau back in 2013. Watch this.
There's a level of admiration I actually have for China. Because their basic dictatorship is allowing them to actually turn their economy around on a dime and say, we need to go green as fast as we need to start investing in solar. I mean, there is a flexibility that I know Stephen Harper must dream about, of having a dictatorship that he could do everything he wanted, that I find quite interesting.
Wow. Boy, isn't that revealing? I mean, what's there not to like about China? They're racist against black people. They're slavers. They are committing a genocide. Patrice, isn't it obvious that Canada's prime minister rejects the very Western values of free speech, government, that is ruled by the people rather than dictators like him?
Yeah, perhaps he thought that he should have the royal crown and be in Great Britain, where he could wield more power. And even there, he wouldn't be able to get away with what he's trying to get away with right now. Let's think about what he's using these emergency powers to do, literally to stop the truckers from, getting access to the funds in their own personal and business bank accounts, to have insurance on their vehicles. And then obviously he's trying to remove them. He is trying to squelch any type of speech, opposition, any type of protest of grievances that these people have. And I mean, I understand that there's concerns about shutting down breaking the law, so to speak, and shutting down, any sort of, public safety and public discourse. But, when Black Lives Matters protests were erupting across Canada, as well as here in the United States, people like Justin Trudeau were more than happy to applaud, to demonstrate that they are with the people, with Black people, and with the movement by allowing them to get involved in reckless behavior, those who did choose to do so. So, it's distasteful, but he is showing his colors and showing who he really is.
Yeah, red are his colors. A crackdown on the Freedom Truckers in Canada has led to the resignation of Ottawa's police chief. This guy's a beauty. He admitted his police department was working to strip the truckers of their rights. Canada's main TV network, the CBC, also revealing this police chief has been accused of bullying and violent behavior towards other senior leaders in Ottawa's PD. Now, this is exactly the caliber of person left-wingers love in positions of authority. Violent bullies who care nothing about human rights. It is a warning for those of us in the Western world, though, isn't it?
It is. He was installed in 2019, and he claims that he came on board with a mandate to end the systemic racism in the police force, to ensure that racism was dead and that everyone was going to get along on the police force. I would think that the mandate for a police chief and any sort of leader of law enforcement should be to ensure the public safety. We'll see how his record holds up against criticism, but there's a lot of criticism that, he failed on what should have been his primary mandate. And maybe he feels like he was really just doing a job around systemic racism and all of the good BLM stuff. That's not why we should be putting people in positions of power.
Only got about 30 seconds, but I wanted you to comment if you could. Joe Biden's America, inflation is through the roof. It's hurting poor communities, including those in the Black community. It's Black History Month. I mean, is it fair for me to say that Black America was far better off under President Trump than under Joe Biden?
Well, let's look at the record. Lowest unemployment rates, lowest poverty rates, high opportunities, growth in small businesses. So the opportunity zones that was attracting money to neighborhoods that had been left behind when it came to investment. So there are a lot of measures that you could have measured the Black community compared to then versus now, and I think they were a lot better off. And the fact that his approval is falling among Blacks in polling suggests that a lot of them are saying, you know what, we bought into the left's, this is Joe Biden, he's for the Black people, and they were sold a bad deal.
Yeah, no kidding. We all got the shaft on this one. Thank you, Patrice Lee Onwuka. We'll talk to you again soon.